What is going on, everybody? And welcome to episode number 72 in 2023. That's not hard to say.
Nah, you had to think about it there for a second.
I did.
I saw the wheels stall out.
I was like, oh shit. But
we left off on a weird number. But
yeah,
that's what it is.
71, but it's 72 in 2023, and we're back. We're happy to be back. I'm so excited to be back.
We're back.
It's we've got some amazing things coming down the pipeline. Honestly, I miss doing the show. I don't know about you guys, and I'm sure actually I do.
Definitely felt weird.
Yeah, every Thursday came up, and I was like, wait, I think I'm supposed to be doing something right now, and it was like, oh yeah, wait, it's a podcast, and it wasn't here. So,
and I haven't been streaming at all, and it honestly has felt so much longer than like 2 weeks for me. It's felt like a month at least, if not over. I don't know.
It's gonna be. Hold on one second. Hold on. I understand. First, I'm gonna address something really quick. Obviously, there are. My camera is no longer up. Obviously, Enigma was kind of always the man behind the frame that you guys never got to see. My camera busted and broke, so now I am enigmanized. That is a dangerous word to say.
Enigmanized? Yeah, I was about to say.
Careful there.
But anyway, I have a question for you. Is that fucking puppies?
That is puppies. I just didn't know what to put there. You know, I was pretty sure you can see it, and I thought it would be kind of wholesome to just stick up, some puppies. Why not?
Oh yeah.
Some
There's
puppies.
nothing wrong with puppies.
Nothing wrong. No, nothing wrong with puppies at all.
Puppies, man.
I gotta. Did I cuss during this? I did cuss, haven't I?
You did. You've already said.
Dang it!
Right, restart. Take it down. Go.
Dang it!
It's okay. We had the intro in there, so we weren't within the first 8 to 15 seconds. So we just need to make sure.
I will just make
that
sure
we don't have it for the majority.
Man, this is gonna be so hard for me. This is just not me at all. Anyway, so we'll talk about that later on when we get to the news and the YouTube drama and Twitch drama. But yeah, happy holidays, happy New Year, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate. I hope all of your guys' holidays went amazing. Again, we all missed every single one of you. And doing the show, and it really has, like, it's been a whirlwind, and a lot of stuff's happened over the holidays. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I can tell you just from my own personal perspective, my wife was asking me yesterday. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You seem pissed off." I was like, "Yeah, I am. Aside from cutting caffeine, I was like." You know what it is? All of my rage has been bottled up, and I've not been able to release it. And normally I release it on the show, and I've not had that for the past couple weeks. So
it's okay. I've got my bony little fingers ready to poke.
I can't wait. Well, I'm just you guys asked for gamer rage. I'm going to give you
punching bags,
rage,
pretty much
so.
as personal punching bags.
Yeah. So, needless to say, we're back. It's episode 72. We're bringing in the new year, and I can tell you we've got so many cool things planned. New faces on the show, in the shape of new faces. I don't want to give away too much, but new faces. I mean, like I said, we have a lot of cool things planned. So just
some old
buckle
faces
in.
too.
Some old
You
faces.
and Enigma.
Well. Yeah. Jesus.
Very old faces.
Don't you have buzz balls to drink or snort or something or whatever it is that you
I
do?
probably got something.
Jesus.
I mean, again, we covered it last week, but not buzz balls.
No, we don't need to go into that.
All right.
Anyways,
so if you are new to the show, if this is your very first episode, well, welcome in. You've got 71 other episodes to get caught up with, but welcome in.
Good luck.
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah. If you are not new to the show, you know that we kick off every single episode with Twitch and YouTube drama. Or news. It doesn't always have to be drama, but usually it's drama. I mean, let's be honest. It's usually a drama-filled fest here. So, we this last half of the year and beginning of the year has not disappointed. As I was chastising myself. I cursed in the very beginning, and Bill, why can't I curse in the first 8 seconds of our podcast anymore?
Because YouTube's a big dummy doo-doo head, and I have to talk in baby talk instead of talking like a man.
Wait, can y'all hear this? Can y'all hear the? Can y'all? Oh, y'all might not be able to hear it, but
do you have a beep?
Chat, can y'all hear this? Let me know if you can hear the beeping, because if so, I'm gonna use the. Yes, I can. So okay, maybe. Yes, you can. All right. What the? All
right. But no, YouTube decided that they were going to. I feel like it's something that happens at the start of every year whenever the advertisers realize that they have the real power over the media companies, and they're like, yeah, we want mass appeal, so no more swear words, specifically in the first 8 to 15 seconds, and not own an excessive amount over the majority of the video or stream. So they're really pushing hard the family-friendly good vibes over on old YouTube.
Vibes. It's such a joke though. Like my whole issue with this is like, if you're going to, YouTube is pushing this whole like shorts and live and they really want to kind of embody the gaming aspect now and all of these things. And like, look, cursing is a part of it. Like if you look at reactions and stuff like that, like it's all like that is gamer rage. Like, how are you going to curtail cursing and saying that you cannot have cursing? I could do naked yoga, but I can't curse.
It's also weird because a lot of gamings have swears in it, and also this new policy is affecting what levels of like violence you can show. I know there was a lot of creators that got hit during when the Callisto Protocol came out because it was excessively violent, like that game specifically. I know that's happened a few other times, and I'm not 100% sure if it's tied in with the new policy, but that's also something that has been popping up. But yeah, with games swearing, or there being swears in some like music that is made on the platform, it's really weird, especially considering YouTube Kids exists.
Right. Well, so that was my question too. I'm wondering if some of this isn't coming from the fact that there are people that are monetizing, saying that they are for a kids channel, because kids channels do monetize at a higher rate as well as at a more frequent rate than your normal channels do, because they're considered quote unquote brand safe. Do you think that this has something to do with these channels kind of saying, hey, we are kid friendly, but in reality they're not, and they are cursing or doing things that are I don't want to say inappropriate, but are not.
Will they come after you? Like because I've seen that, like it's just a checkbox, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
All it is a checkbox. So I'm sure they monitor that stuff, right?
Yeah, they monitor it, but that should be on a video by video basis, not a platform-wide policy. That seems a bit overkill for that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very odd, especially this type of kind of thing. Like it's just weird that it's the cursing and the violence, when there's so many other things that are out there, and also too, like the weird thing that they went after that was not mentioned was also they stopped people from being able to do like the what do you call it, the prank
Use
stuff
your words.
Prank God, I want
like IRL stuff.
Billy, go yourself. Anyway, but
I know what you're talking about though, like the public pranking thing.
Yeah, the public pranks.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, why did they go after that? Like, what endangerment?
Because that's garbage content anyway.
Do you know how many people you are like? I don't know, man. That's a lot of people that do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because it's easy and it's also garbage and it's also staged and it's just.
Yeah,
well, I think it's low tier content, low effort, low tier. It's right up there with like standard reactionary content.
A lot of it is because, like you said, it's easy to do and it's just
it's find hot girl in either your friend group that you can pretend is a stranger, or find random hot stranger, ask an appropriate question to them, make them blush.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to go too far off it though, but there are some legit
Well,
channels.
it's something like where they go into like Walmart and they pretend to be a worker and that kind of thing. And they may be fake or not, but it's very odd that those are the kind of things that because
Well, you know why it is because the kids these days, the dang kids these days are idiots, and they're going out and doing this stuff and actually endangering themselves and others by being idiots in public to strangers.
like
That's where all these dangerous TikTok trends come from, with people like socking people in the back of the head and whatnot in public.
They show, they only see what's on the surface. With a lot of those videos, they choose what they want to cut out. If something doesn't go right, if somebody gets like aggressive and angry and ends up socking somebody in the head, I mean, they'll probably cut that out, or they'll use it for views. But the kids see what's on the surface, so they think, oh, let's do that. We can do that easy.
Well, my kid had a friend that a teacher, I'm sorry, that basically said during that whole like go punch your teacher or slap your teacher in the face like TikTok challenge. That teacher said, if any one of you kids come up here and slap me in the face, I'm gonna break your arm. I was like, have at it, man. Like right on. Teacher. Right on. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, anyway, getting back to kind of this, I just, I don't know. This hurts me, my soul, because I curse like every other word out of my mouth is a curse word because in my
trust me, if people have watched any of the patch notes recently, they would know how much I've censored in just like 8 to 10 minute segments.
It's so rough for me because it's just I don't know. I can't cuss in my job, so I come here to cuss. Now I can't come here to cuss. So
I'm not sure how it affects streams specifically. It seems to be more lax on like the live aspect of it, but I have no doubts that it's going to affect like the VODs in post.
That's what I was gonna say. Is the problem with it is for our specific situation is that once we do the whole entire podcast and we get the VOD portion of it up and running, that's a smack against us essentially, and a smack on the wrist from YouTube being like, hey, you be nice. You be more advertiser safe. Smack on the wrist. It's not what we do, unfortunately.
No. One of the biggest things too, and I don't know, did we talk about how it predates? I might have missed that, but how it predates like months back, right?
You're talking about backdates. It goes back.
Backdates, yeah.
Backdates, dude. So all of this content that people have already made is now getting, monitored and scanned for
71 other episodes of the pre-patch podcast that we've cursed like sailors
in each of the intros.
Well, also too, weird thing with this whole policy that came out, the Mega Man documentary, which I don't know if you guys have seen, it got restricted because it was considered sex and nudity, which there's nothing in that documentary has any kind of nudity.
It got reversed though.
I know, but it was just very odd, like which shows you that this is just which they can't. I mean,
it's a flawed system.
Yeah, they can't have a human back there like checking every single VOD that goes up. I mean, they would.
The problem is though that even when people ask for like they get the initial like takedown and they're like, well, that none of that's in my video. Can I have a person manually review it? And then 30 seconds later it comes back. Okay, somebody reviewed it, still banned.
Yeah. It's
like you're lying to me. Don't lie to my face, Susan.
Or vice versa. They have somebody actually look at it. They get the decision reversed. And then the AI that was still flawed
comes back with
another like 8 of their videos. Yeah. So that's the biggest issue with YouTube and its algorithm or whatever you want to call it. The robot that essentially goes through and canvases all the videos is like, you can 100% get banned for one thing. Have somebody look at your account and be like, oh yeah, that's stupid. Why'd the robot fucking do that?
Yeah, why didn't it ban all this other stuff?
right there. Just cussed again. But yeah, you can be like, why'd the robot do that? And then get the decision completely reversed on that one, and then the robot just comes back 2 days later and is like, hey, you know how I flagged that one video? Here's 18 more. Have fun.
But they subscribe. They really enjoy their content now too.
One thing I will suggest for you guys that are on YouTube though, that if you want to have a little way of making, especially if you stream on YouTube, make it fun. Have like a little, like instead of like going through a Dark Souls game and doing a death counter, do a swear counter, or like have an actual swear jar that your community will get a reward of some type if
Oh, I'll go
you go
broke.
over X amount of
Yeah, I was
time.
gonna say.
I'm gonna go broke. I'll
Yep.
go broke.
Like I'm full like trying to limit my stuff like with streaming, but whenever charity season comes around, I'm legitimately thinking about doing an actual like charity swear jar, and anytime I get called out for it, like that goes to my portion of the donations. I think it would be fun, and it's something that, while also bringing your own like swears down, you can do a little bit of good or have some fun with your community.
Yeah, I wonder. I really do wonder how long this is going to stick for. Like, I think that this is going to be a situation where I have a feeling it's going to end up getting somewhat reversed. And also, too, there's it cannot be. I think it has to end up being like It can't. It has to be under 40%, right, of the actual.
That's what they say, but it's the whole enforcement process is
Right.
skewed.
Don't worry, I'll test it for you, everybody. I'll do it on my own stream. I'll test that 40%.
People like to make
I-
fun of Twitch for how they hand out punishments and stuff like that, but the YouTube AI is just as fickle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's.
it's true.
I mean, well, Twitch just banned somebody yesterday for showing their feet because they said it was sexual content. I don't understand
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's just because somebody on the Twitch payroll has
that.
some fetishes that they just
Mhm.
leaked.
Yeah, well, it's weird. But yeah, so there you go. So don't say any no words on YouTube, or you have the possibility of getting banned. I'm gonna have to rebrand my entire
It's not,
channel.
and just a heads up, it's not a ban. It's
Or
a demonetization.
Demonetized. You're not gonna get banned.
I mean,
Yeah,
there are
demonetized,
literally
so.
channels that revolve around cursing and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that everybody or I hate everything channel. Oh man. Like
Well, again, that and any content creator like Asmongold, all these guys that do reactionary
Yeah.
content or whatever else, like it's all
especially
cursing.
reaction content. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Which should be allowed because they're not advertising it on YouTube Kids. But
yep.
Well,
So-
it should be allowed regardless of if your channel is marked as a mature channel.
yep, exactly.
You should be able to swear. I shouldn't have YouTube going, hey,
Wait.
hey, I know that your content is labeled as mature, right? But you say the F word.
One more question.
Mm.
If you know Bill or anyone, can you actually mark your YouTube channel as mature, or is it just marking it for?
It's just
being
marking it for
family
kids.
friendly?
If you don't mark it for kids, it's assumed to be
So it's
mature.
assumed to be mature. Gotcha.
It's
I would
mature, but
not
no
be-
cussing.
I
Yeah,
would
right.
not be opposed to them adding a mature checkbox.
too.
I'll check that
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single
But
time, baby.
when this whole thing started, I legitimately thought of
Maybe
that
that's the thing they'll
meme
do.
that they had in the what was it called? The Avengers, where Tony Stark and Captain America, where Tony Stark
Oh, he
says a
said
cuss
a
word, he says,
word.
just watch your language. That's that Tony Stark is us, and Captain America is YouTube, and YouTube's going, watch your language.
Gosh
Wa-
darn it.
Watch
Yeah.
your profanity.
I don't know. It's just again,
Watch your profanity.
it just blows me away because they even on a kids channel, like we talked about this before, on a kids marked channel, they will have things for, again, naked yoga, watch the next thing, which is completely inappropriate, right? Like my wife got fake Hooters and watched the the play-by-play of how the surgery went. Like, it's just the most insane stuff. Like, the ads on that are crazy. So I don't know. Yeah, cursing is definitely the most concerning thing in the world today that we should make sure that we are censoring. Yeah. So speaking of censorship and banning, an AI Vtuber was banned for hateful content on Twitch.
This one gave me the big chuckle. Like, it hit me right in the giggles.
Oh, this happened on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Enigma, this was your thing, and you're the one that kind of fell into it. So what is
This YouTuber
Tell me
cracks
about it.
me the fuck.
It's
This
hilarious.
AI VTuber cracks me up, dude. Because okay, so to lay down a little premise and like a little groundwork, right? Back, I believe it was the start of either the start of December or the end of the previous month that they had Twitch came out and was like basically celebrating all of the VTubers on their platform, right? But in doing so, they pissed off a lot of the like the VTube market or whatever you want to call the VTube streamers, right? Because inside of that tweet, they labeled the VTubers as AI, right? They were like, this artificial intelligence has found a way to essentially break the system, right?
That's
And
the biggest way to
we're
misgender
celebrating
somebody.
VTubers as VTubers and their impressive artificial intelligence, you know, and that pissed off a lot of people, man. Like
Yeah.
a lot of VTubers, because they were like, "What the hell, Twitch? We're not we're not AI. We're not computers. We're real people. I hope you know
I'm
this.
a
Like
real
we."
boy.
So the whole reason why this specific VTuber came around, I think her name is Neurosama. It's ran by somebody. I think his name is Videl something. Videl in numbers. I can't remember exactly what the name of it is, but it's Neurosama is the AI. She is a self-learning AI. If you've ever gone and looked at any videos, or if you've ever gone and spoken to like
so
one of
this is
those
an actual
chat
AI.
bots, this is an actual AI.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So if you've ever gone to like any of those chat bots that are on the web that are like,
You visit chatbots?
you know, yeah, you can like sit there and
Lonely
talk to them, and they'll hold a conversation with you. There
Yeah.
was a big thing.
You are lonely, sir.
Yeah, right.
There was a big thing about the middle of last year where people were laughing because they put two of those chatbots. I think it was like the Google chatbot
I've seen
and
those,
another
yeah.
chatbot together, and they
Creepy.
sat
I
there
don't
and
know
just
about
chatted
you.
between each other,
Yeah,
and
that
it was
was
the
creepy.
creepiest fucking thing
I was
ever.
gonna
is.
say, it wasn't funny. It was when they started
It
talking
was
about the end of the
creepy.
world,
Yeah.
and they wanted to talk
Yeah,
about
it
how
was
It was that, dude.
it was weird. But that's essentially what this is. It's a self-learning AI. It's a self-learning chatbot. Inside of that chatbot, it has a bot that looks at the chat, reads over the chat, figures out what it wants to say, but also it's a self-learning AI in that it actually plays video games. So I think Vidal has it playing like Osu, Minecraft. I think he's got a couple of other games. I think it played Slay the Spire
Dude, that
for a while.
thing playing at Osu
Osu is crazy,
wild.
dude. It actually won world records.
I was gonna say
for
that
Osu.
that part of it that can't be like legal in the terms like that. That's
It's not. No, it's
That's
technically it's
is that
technically
why
cheating.
they got
100%.
banned? Because that would 100%.
No, they got banned for hateful conduct.
Okay.
Yeah, they
So
got banned
they-
for
but
hateful
it did,
conduct.
but
So
to be
the
fair,
AI lord.
it did say some hateful
Yeah.
shit.
yeah, so
and you know
it
why?
got
because of Twitch chat. It's learning from Twitch chat.
pretty much.
You know,
It got
I didn't put
caught
that
at
piece
the-
together.
It got caught at the start of this month talking about how the Holocaust wasn't real,
Oh,
and
Oh my God.
and just so some of the shit that comes out of its mouth, I have been thoroughly entertained just watching clips of it being like, there was one that was like, what do you call a cow on two legs? Your mom. And I was just like, okay,
That's great.
it works. And there's just some fucked up stuff that it talks about, dude. Like it'll get on rants where it's like, my body odor smells like a raccoon that I pulled out of the fish market in Taiwan, right? It's just
my
like
God.
it's just like random stuff that you're just like, well, what did I just hear? But yeah,
That
so
is
essentially,
honestly genius, but so dangerous to put on Twitch.
yeah, so it's essentially it got banned today. We don't know exactly what it said. As far as I know, it just got banned for hateful conduct. That's all we know, is that it got banned for hateful conduct. Vidal wrote that he will try to appeal it and find out what exactly they got banned for, but as of right now, there's no information. Again, it's Twitch. You'll never know exactly what you got banned for from Twitch. But knowing the kind of crap that she says, she probably said something that probably should have been said on Twitch and got banned for it. There's been instances where like she starts going off on a tangent and Vidal has to like stop it. He like cuts the entire stream. It's crazy.
That's
dude.
what happens when you have an AI learning through
I
live
really-
streaming.
I really want
Yeah.
to play this clip that I have up here, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't guarantee where it's going to play at, and so I don't know if you're going to hear it without me being able to know if it's going to be like, your mother was a 2-bit, whatever else before. So I just need to. But anyway, we'll put in the show notes where you can go and see some.
Maybe we'll put that in a post in a short. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, that's great. So. Speaking of shorts too, I don't know if you guys saw this, but on a positive note in regards to the YouTube side of things, they have now made it. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, but with shorts, if you are live with your short, your live notification shows up and your icon, like Twitch does, or like
nice.
TikTok does, so it will show that you're live. And so people
I
can.
thought that was already a thing. That's
Nope.
that's wonderful.
That's a very good feature.
Yep.
So now you can put out a short like a few hours ahead of time.
That's what I
and
that's
then
what I was trying
stream
to do.
and
Yep.
once the algorithm hits the shelf.
Yep. So
Nice.
yep, and they did confirm too that thumbnails do not matter for your shorts, by the way. So it does not matter what you do for thumbnails for shorts.
Oh yeah, I've
Never have.
Yep. And also hashtag shorts, putting that on your shorts means absolute jack. So
It used to, but not anymore.
Yep, doesn't do anything for you. So awesome.
Plus, I think the hashtag system on YouTube is still like pretty insignificant.
Yeah.
All right. So that is, unless you guys have anything else to talk about, the drama that is going on in the world of Twitch and
Hashtag drama.
That is it. We are moving on to what we have been playing. So let's transition over here. And yeah, we're going to showcase some of the games and things like that we've been playing. And Bill, I'm actually going to start off with you, but you've been playing Callisto Protocol, correct?
Yeah. Yep. I played through the whole thing. I finished it. It is a done deal of a game. So, yeah. No, if you started at the point that I told you to, you did check the notes, right? 35 minutes.
Oh my God, there's a spoiler. See it.
But yeah, no. From there forward, we should be fine.
Okay, cool. And nobody, my mic was muted, so nobody in the chat heard that. I was just making sure we weren't going to give you any kind of spoilers. So there you go. But okay, so Callisto Protocol. Are you sure this isn't Dead Space? Because this looks like a lot like Dead Space.
That's because it's from the Dead Space team.
Yeah.
So there's a
Not
basically
everyone, right?
what happened is back in the day when EA owned the team that made Dead Space, Dead Space 1 and 2 happened, and they were a good time, and everybody loved them. And then EA was like, but money. And they ruined Dead Space 3 for money, and then fired the team when Dead Space 3 did not do well or something along those lines. EA was shady. The team either left or was let go. And now, years later, they have formed their own game development team, studio, and this is their first foray into that.
Now you're playing
which is the Callisto Protocol.
Are you playing on PlayStation, correct? Or
yes, this is on PlayStation because, unfortunately, this game had one of the it has what I like to call the reverse cyberpunk launch, where it ran amazing on PlayStation but ran horrible on everything else.
Yeah.
Can I just interject really quickly as well?
No,
because it makes me laugh. Right? We can't swear on YouTube, but we just showed Bill chopping off some dude's leg and head, and that's completely fine.
I had to get the loot.
You
have to dismember.
It just makes me laugh a little bit.
To get
it just
the loot.
makes me laugh a little bit though. We can't say the swears, but we can show the chopping off of legs and heads, and that's a-okay on YouTube side.
To be fair, people were getting demonetized for playing this game on their channels. So Markiplier got demonetized. I think a few others got demoed.
I think they just like demonetizing Markiplier just for the hell of it. Heck, damn it! Dang it!
Just to make him spicy.
Yeah, just because.
Yeah.
But yeah. So okay. So people that
so it's by the original Dead Space team.
Right.
This is basically their way of being able to make Dead Space without being able to make Dead Space. So their reboot, it's a spiritual successor, I think is the appropriate term, to the Dead Space games.
Do you think that and also too, if you're unfamiliar, chat, Dead Space, the remake is coming out literally in like a few weeks, if I'm not a couple days.
Yep. Because EA decided that we need to. All these other horror game remakes have been doing well. Why not we double dip into our past games as well?
And so that's gonna be like
wait, hold on, hold on a second.
Like remake wise, not remaster.
Nope, it's a remake. They're remaking.
Full remake, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So have you played? I'm assuming you've played Dead Space, correct? And Dead Space.
Yes,
games?
I am a huge Dead Space fan.
So
Besides Resident Evil, it's probably my second favorite horror franchise.
if you
Nice.
comparison here, I mean, do you see like? I mean, obviously, again, the spiritual successor. You could say like, again, these are the people that came that made the original. Like, do you think there's overlap there? Like, are you going to go into this and be like, well, I'm playing Dead Space or I'm playing Callisto Protocol, like they're one and the same? Yes, storylines different, obviously, stuff like that. But please don't tell me the storyline is the fucking freaking same.
I'm not gonna spoiler anything, but it's a spiritual successor to Dead Space, so take that as you will.
Wow, I'm really surprised that they actually have not met with some like no, not saying that they should be, but like EA is.
When did this game come out?
In December, right? December, I think.
It did. I think we're past spoiler territory. I think it's been out for a month. I'm okay. We're gonna talk spoilers moving forward, just because it does need to be said. So if you don't want to hear about Callisto Protocol spoilers, I'm sorry.
Get your. Oh, dang it! I gotta get better with that button. All right, get out of here. Let's get out of here.
It's basically the same story as Dead Space. There's there's a mining colony that has a biophage that gets unleashed during the mining colony thing. A cult wants to take it over and like spread it because they see it as the next step of human evolution. It's the same story as Dead Space, almost to a T.
That is really sad.
With a little sprinkling of the main character's influence in the whole thing. That's kind of where they.
What do you feel about that? Do you think that's like remotely okay that they did that?
I think it's fine with it. Yeah,
so? It was considering it's the same people. Like,
yeah, and it was originally their intellectual property. They just had the misfortune of working with EA through it.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but I think the sad part here is that, and I don't know, right? I can't say and speak that the developer knew that Dead Space OG was being developed. But what I can say is, in the circles of developers that I talk to and work with and things like that, like they know pretty well. Like they talk to one another. There's insider trading kind of information. Like they would have kind of known that maybe that this is a thing. Assuming that they did know that Dead Space OG was going to be remade, why not? I don't know. Like, why not try to put something different? Because I only think that hurts Callisto Protocol in a way. Like to say, like, I mean, so what is it? I guess the thing. What's the difference between Dead Space and this, other than like, is it just the amount of death kind of animations, and they double down on that aspect of it?
So the death animation, if you've played the Dead Space games, it's what the studio is known for, is maiming their main characters in horrible, horrible ways. The biggest difference between this and Dead Space is the monsters themselves and how you dispatch them. So in Dead Space, it was more about like tactical dismembering with long-ranged weaponry.
Right.
This game is very much melee centered, which is the biggest differentiator gameplay wise. And I think it is a good differentiator, because while a lot of people didn't like the dodging system, I found it very, very fun. It didn't take me that long to learn it, and it's very engaging in that aspect.
This is like now I'm thinking this is like the Dark Souls of Dead Space.
I wouldn't go that far.
So
but it's
melee.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It definitely does come from a place where if they were
Dark
blatant with it,
hate that, like pinning, like, oh, this is the Dark Souls of that, but you know what I mean. It's
no, for sure. But if with Dead Space being so well known, with the remake coming out, I think it could have had a negative impact. I don't think that comparison is going to hurt it in the long run. I think it is gameplay wise identifiable enough on its own. It stands on its own feet enough to get away with what it is. Plus, everybody that cares about the horror genre and cares about these games knows that it is made by the Dead Space team. They were not shy about advertising that this is from the original Dead Space creators. They've even got Dead Space Easter eggs throughout the whole game.
Yeah, I think it's like comparable to like Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood, right? Like it's made by the same people. They wanted.
That's
to make
actually a perfect comparison.
but they couldn't because they didn't own the IP anymore. So that what they do, they went and did the next best thing. They basically made a game that was pretty much blood for blood, pound for pound, the same exact thing, right?
I think that's
with
pretty
a couple
cool,
of changes.
honestly.
Yeah.
Granted, whether you know it's in a kind of a different state with them, looking at like Dead Space getting a remake. I don't see Left 4 Dead getting a remake anytime soon, but you know, I think it's a good comparison on that point at least.
Yeah, for sure.
How long is it? Have you beaten it?
Yeah, I've beaten it. It's about it took me about 12 hours.
Okay,
that's fair.
So for a horror game, it's about on point.
For a horror game, yeah. Horror games tend to go.
Is that mainlining or is that is that side questing some or?
I was pretty heavy into my exploratory. I think you could probably finish the game in 9 if you like just beelined it. But there's quite a few side paths that you can go to like get better loot and like better weaponry and stuff. Like get your upgrades quicker. So.
Okay. I mean, because as a Dead Space fan, this was one that it hurt me not to play. I mean, I've played through Dead Space 1, 2, 3, 100% of them all, and loved them to death. And so I was very anxious to get into this, you know, and I'm just wondering if, well, because of the issues, I didn't.
I do not know if they have fixed those issues. I haven't looked into it.
What I've heard is they have, at least in 1440p, they have not. So 1440p.
By the way, I think we are clearing the spoiler zone, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Do you think that you gotten your money's worth out of it? I guess is the
I thoroughly enjoyed the experience from start to finish. It was a very good first entry into what I hope is a promising franchise. I think in the future, this was made on Unreal Engine 4, and that tends to be where the issues that it's had on PC were from, because for some reason games last year that used Unreal Engine 4 were having some severe shader issues.
It's a date. I mean, Unreal Engine 4 is a dated engine. I mean, it's old, and especially now when you're talking about what process, you know, these new graphics cards are able to do and how better they do. I mean, that's a whole other conversation, but it makes sense as to why that was having issues. But
yeah, so the shader issue is the issue. I don't know if they fixed it or what their plans are for it. I do know there is a roadmap of DLC for this game. So whenever those DLC pops up, I'll definitely be finishing those. But I think they're going to be troubleshooting and getting the game working properly on all systems before that.
So wasn't there like another mode that came out with this? Me and Sim were talking about it at one point.
That was one of the, actually, that's a really good point. There's part of the I think Digital Deluxe or whatever, Adler Edition was this additional mode, and it wasn't clear as to whether or not anybody that purchased it got that mode or if that was something that was locked behind the special edition. I don't know what version you bought or got.
I just got the standard edition.
Do you know of the other mode that I'm talking about?
As far as I know, there is no other mode other than, unless you're talking about difficulties.
No, it's
was it like a wave-based mode or something?
It was some type of other mode. Let me look it up real quick. But because
the Digital Deluxe Edition gives you the prison, its weapon skins, and the season pass for the DLCs that are going to come out. But I don't see any anything talking about a specific mode.
Let me take a look at.
I see. Yeah, contraband pack, weapon skins, and character skins.
I remember. I know. Is it me and Scruffy were looking at it specifically? I don't know. Damn it! I wish I would have screenshot it because it was. There was this. It was something specific around this other mode.
Wait. Discover the ultimate survival horror experience with a new mode, Contagion.
Yes, that's it.
That's it. But with reduced ammo and health drops, a customized difficulty, and permadeath, there are no second chances to escape Black Iron Prison and the horrors. The Contagion bundle also includes 13 new Jacob death animations and stuff like that, like new skins. So it was a Contagion bundle that says it contains a new mode.
But so this has changed since the game was before pre-release and now, because now it's saying it was in the season pass, but before it was not part of it. It did not label it as part of the season pass.
I don't see it in the season pass. So I do. Here it is.
It's going to be the first thing that comes out in the season pass.
Yeah. So okay, that clarifies it, but it wasn't clear whenever we looked at it for the first time because it was separate. It was like the season pass, and then it had this contagion mode. It wasn't called bundle. It was like something contagion mode.
It clears it up. But that was very concerning at first.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm glad they're
No,
not.
I had never heard of that.
Yeah.
But
okay.
it gets my stamp of approval. It is a $70 game, so take that what you will. I got roughly 12, 13 hours out of it. There is no new game plus at this point.
Actually,
the only
right now too.
The only difference that you're gonna get if you want to do subsequent playthroughs is playing on a harder difficulty. So
yeah, right. It's on Steam for sale. On sale 20% off right now. But please be mindful is that it is a port and it is a it's if you're playing what I've heard of 1440p or higher, it's rough. It's really rough. So, as far as frame rate is concerned, yeah. So there you go. All right.
Good game though. I wish it had a better launch because I think that's going to hurt it in the long run more so than it being compared to Dead Space. I think it being compared to that is only a compliment, and I think it did a spiritual successor to that franchise justice.
It's gonna be interesting when Dead Space launches in the next couple of. When does? Hold on, let me look.
I almost feel guilty like being excited about the Dead Space remake just because it's EA doing douchey EA things.
It comes out in 15 days.
Like I'm obviously going to get it, but I don't feel good about it. I don't feel clean.
I feel terrible, but I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel about a lot of Blizzard products. So I understand that. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you Blizzard shill, you. Anyway. All right. Well,
coming from the Blizzard shill extraordinaire, bro.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm
pre-ordering Diablo 4.
Do we want to bring up the fact that you resubscribed to World of Warcraft?
Pre-ordered Diablo 4. Excuse me.
Do we want to bring up that you resubscribed and we're playing World of Warcraft?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. I'm playing World of Warcraft off and on. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm in the need of I'm in the need of an MMO, boys and girls. And guess what? There ain't one out there right now.
Sir. It ain't that big of a need.
Yeah, well. You don't know me. Anyway, all right. Well, we are going to move on to Enigma.
Looks like there has been a patch to fix the stuttering on most systems.
Today, okay,
that's very good.
Because the last I saw it was not, but that came out of a tweet from a content creator. So, no. Anyway, all right. So this is a game that we have all. Well, actually, I don't think Bill has been. I don't think Bill played this yet, but myself, Scruffy, and Enigma all jumped into the. Can I use one of our swear? Can I just use one time for our swear words?
This looks like Crunker.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
It's
I'm gonna use it.
It's better than Crunker.
It's a dumbass way of doing their betas. I'm just gonna say that. But anyway, the game it's called BattleBit Remastered. If you're unfamiliar with BattleBit. It actually, and the reason why it's remastered, BattleBit was actually a thing before, and it came out as a joke, and it was around the time that Battlefield 2042 came out, and they basically brought out BattleBit, and was memeing 2042, and it became insanely popular, and people were like, "This is the better version of Battlefield. Just go play this," and so they legitimately were like, okay, we have a calling here, and so the team has decided to make BattleBit Remastered. And it is do not let the blocky.
I was about to say this looks like Crunker, and I have PTSD in regards to Crunker.
Don't let this kind of. Yeah, Unturned would be what I would call it.
It's a better comparison. And if you have played Unturned, it's actually a lot of fun. Unturned is like this style, but like DayZ. So you have this
legitimately the thing about like the thing about like the pixelated and like I forget what they call the style. Is it?
They call it. Oh,
is it's like
voxel based? Yeah, it's voxel based. It's just smaller voxels, right? The thing about voxel based games is like it's really hit and miss on like the popularity as well as like the meminess of them, right? Like, granted, you got things like what's the other one that Crunker was based off of?
The Roblox.
Roblox. Yeah, you've got Roblox, and Roblox is a meme. Like 100%. I agree with you.
That meme makes a lot of money.
Crunker
does.
It does, and that's the stupidest part about it. And the reason why they do it is because they're extremely predatory towards their player base. They're like 5-year-old player base, right? This one so far, I have not seen anything about microtransactions. I don't think I've heard anything about microtransactions. I don't think they have any intention of putting microtransactions in the game.
I think we'll see about that. I think it's early to see.
We'll see.
We will
see, but granted,
I am liking the destructible environments. It gives me
the gameplay of it alone. Sin said it best earlier, and it's not a meme. This is the better Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100%, this is the better Battlefield 2042, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the better game, in my opinion. And it looks stupid. Like that little section of the video right there, where the dude was just like looking at the video, like, "Hey, mom," you know that. Yeah, 100%. It looks stupid, but it's
to a point. It looks stupid, but the looks honestly play so much in like all of the more capabilities like you can have in this kind of game. You know,
I played it today. I literally just got done.
Yeah.
Like, a couple hours.
That's why you were late to the show.
Dinner. No, it was like an hour before dinner because they don't. That's the stupid part about this game is that instead of having just a full on beta, they have stupid little sections of like 2-hour little small play windows where you have to be there or you be square, right?
Yeah.
When I came home today at like 3-4 o'clock my time.
Ubisoft does the same thing.
Yeah, that was when I was able to play, but like it's
their reasoning is, I mean, when they first launched, it was an open beta and it blew up and it killed servers within like a day or something. I think they had over like 300,000 people just blow the servers up. But it's been so long since that point that they've had so many betas. I'm like, isn't there going to be a point where we can have like a legit?
It's got to get to a point where they have to just release it. Like, I don't know.
But the game is phenomenal.
It is really good. It is really good. It gives me that bad what is it?
Bad Company.
Bad Company. Yeah, I was about to say Back for Blood, and that's like, no, that's not that. That's the wrong one. Yeah, Bad Company, 100% with a destructible environment. Loved that fucking game. I'm sorry, I had to cuss. Loved it. It was an amazing game. I loved the destruction, the terrain destruction and the wall destruction, and it kind of reminds me of Rainbow Six Siege, right, where you can like chunk out little holes in the wall and set yourself up with those. But the only problem with it is like it's not like a one-shot kill. Like you actually have armor and shit. You don't have to really worry about.
Would be surprised with how realistic this game is for how it looks. I mean, down to the mechanics of reloading a mag. If you still have ammo in that mag, you keep it and you use it again. Or reloading a mag and you drop it because you do a quick reload. You have to pick it back up if you want it. You know, you can drag your downed enemies, which I love. I think that's amazing. Or down teammates. Sorry, yeah, you're down. You can actually drag the enemies.
That'd be fucking hilarious if you could drag.
I'm cussing.
Oh well, whatever. You already cussed enough for us. We're not monetized anyways.
Said it once.
Yeah. It's very realistic for what it is, and I think that's the biggest part about this game of what makes it so good. You know,
it looks charming.
It is very fun.
Yeah,
need to come out
quite a bit. So
yeah, I that's my only complaint is like they just need it. They just need to release it. Like it's in beta. They need to release it into an open beta where you can just play whenever you want to, because the whole like 2-3 hour stints little windows is really getting on my
We'll see. I think it'll be very popular when they do finally release it, because they've held for this long so many, like a huge player base even through all of these play tests.
I mean, people chomp at the bit to play it every time that it comes up, man. It's like it, you know what?
Huge.
And there's another game that actually I played, but I over the holidays, but I hadn't shown it. It's Dark and Darker, which is another one of these games, and I'll show it. I'll talk about it later, but it's another one of these games that are doing play tests like this, but theirs are a lot longer. They'll go for a couple days, but as soon as they come up, man, it's just every content creator on Twitch and YouTube are just eating it up, right? They're just boom, instantly in there.
So just as a little today, their beta test that they had today peaked out at 11,000 players.
Yeah, man,
that's pretty good.
Their all-time peak player base is 23K. That's their all-time player base. But yeah, like they get a decent peak players. Like Last
also-
30 days, peak players was 15,000. So like
Also-
it's a very popular game, man.
Keep in mind too that today's test was from like I think 5 to something, right? It was like from
Yeah,
3
it was
to
like
5,
a 3-hour window from like 3 to like 6 or something like that.
right in the middle of the day.
3-hour.
So it was
Yeah.
real awkward.
It was like a 3-hour beta test, but I think they hold them predominantly to be on the schedule for like EU players as well, which is kind of, I don't know. I think they need to open them up. Just open it up.
Just give it to us.
Yeah.
Give it to us. All right. Well,
Because it does have really good stuff in it, like the customization of your weapons, the customization.
Oh, the
of
destructibility is awesome. I mean,
Awesome.
everything really just, again, it's the better Battlefield. So, which is really sad. All right. So moving on, I want to talk about this game, Divine Knockout. Have you guys heard of Divine Knockout, or DKO? As
I have it downloaded on
Yep.
my PlayStation.
Yep. So I went into this I was like, first off, when I saw it, I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. You know, and watching them when I think they debuted it, if I'm not mistaken, at E3 or one of the conventions. And I was just like, this is why are we, you know, this doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think brawlers really have a place like this to fit. But I gave it a shot, and you know, I love these types of games as well, like little brawlers and things. And I was actually really surprised at how well it plays and how well it actually
It does play very well.
You know, how much like it gives you a very MOBA feel. In fact, Bill, you know, you're asking me about League, like why, you know, when are we gonna go back to play League? And I would say like try this and see if that doesn't give that League itch a little bit, because though it's not your MOBA, like there are
It's made by Smite.
yeah, it's still the MOBA elements of like your characters have cooldowns, they have abilities. Yes, it is chibi looking, but like
We know Sin is all into like anime and
yeah, I love the
stuff like
anime.
that.
The
He's an
furry,
animu.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and deny that me and Enigma sat through for about an hour and a half and looked at different chibi animations for things. So yeah. Anyway, it's really good. They have several different heroes. You know, Hercules, Thor, Ymir. They've got I call him Yasuo, but that's not his name in this. He's Yasuo. They've got they just released Zeus. They have Thanatos. All these different, you know, heroes, and their plan is to bring out a hero a month to you know, kind of keep things spicy and going. They have 2v2s,
Yeah,
3v3s.
he means Susano.
Yeah, Susano. Yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
The
But
easiest thing for them is because they already have a huge catalog of heroes or gods to go off of. It's just the fact of, you know, porting them into this and making them viable for this game.
yeah,
They've got it all.
And it's surprisingly, there's a really good comboing system. There's a really good like you know, working together and
I was
things
gonna
like
say,
that.
team play is a lot of fun.
Like it's
You
just,
would be a Herc main, by the way.
I'm not. I'm
No,
not.
you're a Ymir, right?
No, I played Herc because we got completely just boned by Herc. Like I'm talking like rolled by a Herc, and I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like he's overpowered, mainly because he has an invincible. Like, and I think he has it in Smite too, right? Doesn't he have an invincibility like move where he becomes invincible to
Like his
whatever?
alt when he
Yeah.
goes big.
Yes. in this.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what his stuff is in Smite. But anyway, he goes like big beast mode, and he can't be like hit or damaged or anything like that. So it was ridiculous. And so I was like, I'm gonna play him. But no, Ymir is my boy, and Zeus.
Yeah.
Zeus just launched, and let me tell you something. That dude is amazing.
The thing is, too,
You
this
would also be a Zeus main. That checks out too.
this game really complements changing it up because of the game modes. You know, some gods work really well in different game modes than others.
Did we ever figure out if this was free or if this is a pay to play?
It's
thing?
free.
Is it free?
Yeah.
I think it was free. Well, wasn't it free
Hold
for
on.
a certain time period?
Yeah, hold on. It was free for
Pretty
a
sure
little
it's
bit.
paid
but
now.
I don't think it's free anymore.
It's $25 now.
Holy
Gotcha.
cow,
If you
man!
didn't get it when it was free, you have to pay $25. But
Like,
I think,
I get wanting to get like paid for your game and everything.
or,
like that,
or
but this
hold
game-
on. I know,
This
yeah. I think
game is not $25, bro.
I do believe, I think at least it looks like it's $25, but it comes with the Founders Edition, which I assume might give you the
So
The heroes, the gods.
okay, so it is on Steam. It's $25. It gives you the Founders Edition. The
Yeah.
Founders Edition will give you a certain amount of heroes. On Epic, I think the game is free. Let me see. Epic Games. The game is no, it's just on sale. So it's $16
Still.
on there. So it is a paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a pay to play game.
I know it
now.
was free on PlayStation
Yes.
for
and
for a
It's
minute.
crazy.
and it was free on Steam if you got
It
it.
was free
during
on Steam. Yeah,
the time
I
of-
picked it up on Steam when it was open for being able to be free. But that's
It also
crazy.
has
that was
full,
one of my only complaints about the game when it first released. Is I was just like, why would you pay $25 for this? I'm sorry. Like, granted, I'm sure it's a great game and everything like that, but like,
I mean, you
I
could
don't
get $25 out of it, like content wise.
Sure. I just think they should have went the route of many other games that do this, of coming with a free model and then a god pack of unlocking all of the gods.
but I'm willing to bet that they'll do that regardless. So you're gonna have to pay $25 and pay.
Well, I'm sure they'll do it. Like, doesn't Siege do it like season gods?
Well, they don't. So like Zeus was not free, by the way. So like I have the.
But you didn't buy it.
Well, no, I got the free version, and I bought the. I did.
You
I was
bought the
playing it.
Base game's free to play on Epic.
Yeah.
And then probably
Um,
base gods were free for you then, right?
Right, I bought the founders
Sure.
pack, which it didn't, but still, it didn't give me base gods. It gives you a certain amount of coins that you can unlock.
Oh,
Shit, gods.
Wait.
Just-
So what you're telling me is that the Epic has gone from yearly exclusive to yearly free to play.
I guess so. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
But
Good job, Epic.
they-
Great.
Anyway, I mean, yeah, I agree. The game should be free to play on all platforms, but it really is a fun time. It has a lot to it. Don't look at it like kind of how I did, as being like, oh, it's just a brawler and there's not, it's not a competent fighter. It actually has quite a bit of like good comboing systems with light, heavy attacks, your abilities. They have builds that you can do, so you build out like your followers. And you're like, you can see there, it says enemy loadout. You'll have different loadouts that you can load in to say, hey, this cooldown reduction does this, or I get more damage if I do this and this. So there's quite a bit of customization aspects to it as well. So yeah, I mean, I've been having fun with it. And Bill, if you've got it downloaded, man, you want to jump in, it's crossplay.
Yeah, I was waiting for everybody to get their piece in, but it is fully cross-play between all systems. So
Yep. So I would definitely hit it up with you. I've been having a lot of fun.
I have yet to play it, but
I've played
I'd be
again.
down.
Yeah, I've yet to play it too. I have it downloaded. I just haven't ever played it. So.
Yeah, well, it's a good time. It's a good time. All right, so that's DKO. Mr. Scruffy, myself, and we're not talking about Stars In. We're not talking about Stars In.
That's okay.
Well,
I just put
I
it on
was-
there because it was on this VOD as well.
I was like, why the hell would we waste our time?
I
on
think we
that?
could have memed on it a little bit, but well,
Not
it's
talking about that hot garbage.
you just don't want to talk about it because you're the one that found it.
I did find it, but it's definitely not worth it. It was definitely a misclick on my end.
Yep.
But this
That's
was
okay.
not a misclick. Dungeons of Sundaria actually has been an Enigma's. I think
It was a
download folder.
misclick for me, actually. It was a misclick for me, probably. I bought it like a year ago and never played it.
Yeah.
But we decided last night after playing Star not worth your money, we decided to like jump into this, and man, dude, what a surprise! Like,
Who's the Minotaur?
that would be me.
Who do you
I
think?
was
Who do you
bored.
think?
I was, you know what? Go friend yourself, because that's bullpucky.
To be fair, the funniest thing was
Literally bullpucky because you're a Minotaur.
No, the funniest thing is
It's
I
easy to
had a
work.
character,
Oh, okay.
before we even launched this game when we first got it, and then I never touched it. So I had a character made. When we jumped into it last night, I joined Sin's game. I walk up to him. We're identical. We're like brothers. We were both with the same spiky hair and the same goofy tattoos, and we just
Literally, the only thing that was
That's
separating
great.
us was the coloring, but
Yeah,
same
yeah.
class and everything. It was kind of nutty, honestly.
Well, and on top of that, after they did that,
Yep.
I made a new
made a character,
character,
and I made a
and
I
he
remade
made a new character. And we look the exact same as
Exact same.
So what you're saying is the customization of the characters is a little lacking.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It is.
Granted, there's only like
They've got
I
like
think the
5 or
Goblin
6
had. I
options.
think the
per-
Goblin had like 3 selections for face, like a couple selections for hair, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's not that huge of a list of, or not that complicated of a customization. But I think they make up for it really well with like the variety of armors and weaponry, because like
Yeah.
it actually does do a really good job with having you look fairly different with your armors, and
Especially if
everything
you're
like that, so.
sitting, you play this big orc that
I didn't.
I'm not even what which
So,
mouth looks like.
all right, we'll get into the classes too, but the don't let the game, the way it looks, kind of also deter you, because it does look like a early 2000s like EverQuest.
I don't think it looks that
2.
bad, man.
I'm not saying it looks bad. It's just it's not of like when you talk about games that have come out in this year, right? It harkens back to me like EverQuest 2 style of graphics, right? Like I look back.
I don't think so.
Maybe not EverQuest 2, a little bit better, but it's.
I was gonna say 100%. Like EverQuest 2 looked like doggy doo doo.
It did not. It
did 100%. You do not remember EverQuest 2, then, sir?
Okay. Anyway, it's a very competent dungeon crawler. Like this is. We made the comment last night that this is like Gauntlet meets, you know, a little bit of what was it that we said last night? It was Gauntlet meets, I can't. Yeah, D&D. Yeah, D&D online.
Online, yeah.
But like it's competent. Like there's, you know, you don't like you level up.
Can you mage?
Yes,
Can you be a mage?
Yep.
So yeah, get into the classes. There are rogue, mage, cleric. Is it warrior you're playing, Sin?
It's champion, but yeah,
champion, which is essentially a warrior,
wizard, sir,
tank,
not
and
mage. Thank you very much.
yes, and hunter, ranger, whatever it is. So I think did I say 6 classes?
And they're bringing out new classes as well. So they have on the roadmap. There's a new race. Lizardmen's coming out. They are
Lizardmen.
I found out Bard is coming, which is super
that's
cool.
very cool. Yeah.
One thing that I know Enigma is super stoked about in this game. Okay, there has been something when it comes to champions and big characters and playing warriors that he is. I have probably heard him say at least like 15 times.
Damn time, bro.
Well, same here, man. But
that you can wield a shield in both hands, and you can use a shield as a weapon. So you literally can go and dual shield it and block with one and smack with the other one. Block with one and smack with the other one. It's not a super viable build, but you can do it.
I thought you were gonna talk about the fact that your big ass blocks every projectile.
Well, I mean, yes, that is also the case.
What are the chances of a necromancer?
That's what I was wondering. I wonder about that. I don't know if it's a game fit for that. At least not on a big scale like Enigma would like.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a very minor like scale of like maybe 1 or 2 summons.
It'd be turretmancers.
Turretmancers, yeah, like a shaman maybe or something.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's a fun time. Like you know, it's a hack and slash, but I will say they do it like the dungeons are freaking long, dude. They are long dungeons, and you know, you have there's some complexity to them. Like it's not just going there and wail. I know like what you've seen so far is like wailing on people and that's it, but you know, we faced a boss last night, or a mid boss, that we had to like drag around these fires to put the fires out so that he would take damage. There was ones where the people were shielding other people, and we had to deal with that. You definitely have aggro and tanks and all those kind of things. There's upgrade systems. It's pretty in depth for the game. And
it's all PvE, correct?
It is all PvE right now. Yes, there is you cannot do damage to your fellow teammates as it stands right now.
You can PvP by standing in the way of everything that your teammates are.
Yeah, shooting. I mean, I can. Sin's really good at that. Maybe you're just not good at moving around me.
It's just anti-PvE.
No, you're good at moving in front.
I am a big,
extremely good at moving in front
orc. What do you want, man? I did not know that I could not. I should have been a goblin. I should have been a goblin. So I'm just a little tiny.
Should have been a halfling.
So, but either way, Dungeons of Sundaria, you can get it on Steam. It's well worth the money. It's also remote play, which is also really great.
And local split screen too, so it could be a fun couch co-op game.
Yep.
Neat. Is it on consoles that you know of?
It is on consoles. It's on
nice.
Xbox.
Oh, nice.
Wait, hold on. Let me, because it might be PlayStation. Hold on.
Big fact check.
So it's $20 by the way on
Infection.
Steam. And come on.
The game feels
Dungeons of
great, man.
Sundaria, PlayStation, Xbox, Windows. Let's
There
go.
you go.
Oh,
There you
nice,
go.
everything.
And Switch.
Wow,
Hey,
it's a
There you
great
go.
Twitch game.
So
Actually,
is it crossplay across
Yes.
all those, or
Yes,
That's crazy.
It is crossplay.
wow.
Um,
This game's got a lot going for it. Honestly, it's a very hidden gem.
When did it come out?
so
a
it came.
while ago?
It came.
I've had it for like a year.
Well,
It
so it's
came
actually technically it's still in early access.
Yeah, it
is still in early
released on
access.
Steam in early access in July 18th, 2022. So probably right around the time Enigma picked it up.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this looks. Yeah, I'm impressed.
It's fun. I mean, it's just a fun time. Like,
Mhm.
in a world
You're a
too
fun
where,
time.
aw, I try to be.
Oh,
So
you can't have that on this podcast.
not-
I
Nice.
mean,
yeah. Anyway,
furry, pew, bad.
There we go. That's more like it.
There you go. So, aside from that, I don't know if you guys have anything else to say about Dungeons of Sundaria, but it's a phenomenal. It really is a good time. And
It's got a fair. It's got a cool out of dungeon system where you're in a town, and you it's like a hub where you just click and talk to like the local town people. You don't actually go into it like first person. You just like go around and talk to people, like clicking on different buildings. It's kind of cool. I haven't seen it in many other games. Like maybe Club Penguin had it.
Well, no, they did it. They did it in Darkest Dungeon, stuff
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
that.
say Darkest Dungeon.
Dungeon.
has that
Yeah,
kind of stuff,
yeah. Those kind of games definitely had it. Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot again, as you can see here, a lot of different weapons, a lot of different looting, a lot of different stats, a lot like it fills that niche if you
It's
are
very
looking for that.
yeah open, like free. It lets you do a lot of customization.
Yep, which is really cool. So, yeah, so those are the games that we've been playing, boys and girls. So now we go on into the news section, and I'm actually going to. I think we'll put everything in nice like little format or whatever else. But I want to talk about one thing.
You're gonna screw it all up.
No. It's just I want to show this because it's about part of the news, but it's better if our chat sees it to understand kind of what we're talking about. So this is the Brink of Infinity trailer for League. Let me loop it because it's not very long. But for the League's new season, or well, 2023, obviously every year they do like a cinematic intro and all this other kind of stuff.
Their cinematics are beautiful.
It's been a big deal, but apparently people are all pissed off about this, and to the point that Riot apologized, like for this. So you guys are seeing the video that people got pissed off about, and whether you like League or not, I mean, I think to me this is ridiculous. Like, why are people getting so pissed?
Yeah, why did they? Oh, is this Twisted Tree Line?
No, this is not Twisted Tree Line.
Oh my god, dude.
No, you're literally just going through it's a flyover of Summoner's Rift.
Okay. Looked at.
And I think I think people were just upset that I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they hyped it up like an extreme amount as to what they were going to be bringing out, and then it didn't really develop or didn't really deliver.
What do they want? I don't get it. Like,
it's gamers.
I'm
You know
like,
how it is.
we're
hard to please.
I cannot believe that this is like, oh my gosh, you must apologize. Rah! I'm like, guys, what does it really matter? I'll tell you, and
I'd be pissed off because I thought it was Twisted Tree Line and it's not. And then
I will tell you why they're doing it too. I'm going to give you the Sinin overview of exactly why they went with a cinematic like this. Because if you look at the patches, and they talked about this during the season opener for LCS and stuff like that, when they did Boomer versus Zoomer team and all this other kind of opening stuff. The reason that they're doing these kind of things is because they want League to be more accessible, right? It just launched on Xbox Game Pass for PC, so now it's available there. And they are trying to make this more accessible because if you look at like the items that they're bringing out, it's a lot less like click to activate. They're just passive items that do things. They're bringing out the things with like the jungle to make that an easier learning curve. All of these things are pointing to them trying to make this more accessible. So if they have a trailer like this and a cinematic like this, it's not going to scare off little Timmy or little Tina or whoever else.
Yeah, but it also doesn't excite me to play the game.
Yeah, what really would you think scared off people like that with their other trailers and cinematics?
That's the problem, right? When you read over it, it actually breaks down into detail. Like what people were so upset about, and what Bill just said is exactly what people were upset about. Their gamer or league players are used to these like introductory like season highlights or these season starting trailers to be huge. Like the one from 2020, the start of 2022 was The Call, and that one was like insane. Like there was a lot going on with it. And it just that's the whole thing. The people were just like, this is not what we were expecting. We were expecting like action packed. We were looking for
flipping trailer for a game that you already freaking play. Like,
What if we got
yeah, but you can't sit there and say that like when you had the worlds or whatever it was, that virtual concert that they had, right, with Pentakill, right?
Oh,
We sat there and bitched the entire time that Pentakill cinematic was just terrible.
Correct. And I'm not saying that like that
this would also be like World of Warcraft releasing an expansion and just have it being like a flyover of the new environments and nothing else.
I mean, we've had
yeah, but in this case, it is nothing new at all.
I'm just saying I'm not saying that Pentakill like that this cinematic is of equal caliber of what they've released before, or anything like this. But I don't understand the vitriol of being like to the point where Riot has to apologize. Like it's just to me.
And I don't think that Riot had to apologize because of the vitriol. I think Riot apologized because they were like, hey, yeah, we looked at it and we're like, yeah, we didn't really deliver. That was the only thing that it's not like they were like, please forgive us, oh saints, please.
That's bullcrap. Them being like we didn't deliver. Like they looked at this. They approved it. They gave their stamp on it. They said, yes, this is good. Put it out. They absolutely apologized because they were getting hate. They didn't get. If they had not, no one had said anything. Do you think Riot would have been like, you know what, guys, we really think that this was actually kind of bad. We want to do something better. No, this is the intention that they wanted, and I think it's ridiculous that people are so like. I guess Bill, you said it doesn't get you excited to play the game, but does it also make you not want to play the game? Like, or do you look at this and be like, I'm not playing that game?
If I had never played this game before, this would not entice me to download it.
Yeah, 100%. Same with me. If this was the first time,
if they're trying to make it more accessible to people,
honestly, to be completely honest, this looks like the trash that Blizzard or that Bethesda releases when they're like, hey, we're making Skyrim 2.56. Check it out, and it's literally just a flyover of an expansive world, right? That's all that they gave us, right?
I mean, I'll concede that it doesn't show someone like what the game is about.
This also doesn't relate to the game whatsoever, other than it being Summoner's Rift. You don't get like a feel for what the game is even about. Whereas with the other expansions, there was combat that you knew it was going to be a PvP game. This looks like it could be an open world walk around fest if you didn't know any better. Like obviously people know what League of Legends is, but
yeah,
I don't.
My issue with it, and I think this might be where the community's coming from a little bit with it, is the preseason. Like the people that have played, the preseason was a train wreck.
Rash.
Yeah, the preseason has not been good. The start of the season has not been exciting because they didn't really fix anything from preseason. And this is like a cherry on top of a bad time for the League community. They're wanting to expand the player base. They're wanting to bring back old players. This is not how you do it. And this is just kind of like a little.
You gotta look at it like this, right? You got to look at it like this. They just got a huge influx of players from their deal with Microsoft. Right? Like, I have no doubt that they have a huge number of players, new players and old players alike, that are coming back to the game because now they have access to every single champion in the game. It's a little bit easier to get into it, right? And I completely agree with you that they're trying to kind of push forward towards a more accessible, entry into the actual franchise. But this ain't it, man.
I honestly think they should have put Echo in here premiering his new skin That would have
of course
done
you
it for
do.
me.
Yeah, no, I think actually they should have put Senna.
You
with,
don't get to talk
another, like,
about
6
League
skins.
at all. Your bell doesn't get to get rung
Listen,
about
just
League. You
because
sit there
I
and be
made the
quiet.
mature choice of not playing the game and can, you know, it's like self-care.
Self-care, my
I can
But
talk.
yeah, if you guys want to hear the like, I've got the apology, quote unquote apology right here. If you want to,
I like the little addition of like the Katarina like knives at the end. Like somebody had the idea, like, guys, we didn't have anything. Just put some knives in there, thrown at the camera. I don't know. This is kind of funny to me watching it.
It is funny.
It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, their whole apology is a message from Riot about season 2023. We've launched a cinematic as part of the season start every year since 2018. And make no mistake, everyone on League knows how much you love them. So do we. This year This year there were some unprecedented circumstances that had us choose an alternative approach to season 2023 video. However, we believed it could still embody League's broad universe and competitive spirit while celebrating the start of the new season. That trailer told me nothing about the broader universe or a competitive spirit. It told me nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right?
Right.
But it says, but we've heard your feedback and we want to acknowledge the Brink of Infinity missed the mark for the action-packed champion-led trailer that you have expected and has led to the further speculation about our investment in League. Honestly, we should have been more communicative, which might have helped with some of the feelings of speculation. We do believe that League has a bright future and we are investing in it, but we can do a better job for sharing those plans with you. We are committed to giving you more details about what that investment looks like in the next couple of days. We really appreciate your passion and feedback, and League success wouldn't be possible without your dedication.
I think this accurately depicts like the whole kind of like feeling and dedication that they have to League, because they're the butterfly and we're desperately trying to chase after them, being like, hey guys, hey, fix your stuff. No, wait, don't leave. No, wait, don't go. And then they're around the corner and they're gone. And it's just like, oh, okay. Well,
and then at the end we get murdered by Katarina. That makes sense.
Yeah. That's to top it all off.
Yeah. But they had the little pets, guys. They showed the pets. The pet right there. There's the little pet.
That's the biggest thing to me, is that like if I'm a new player or an old player returning, or if I'm somebody that like just completely hated last season, which I am, this doesn't hype me up to be like, hey, I definitely want to come back.
They could have put like some new additions to the season around like different corners and stuff, and actually like add stuff to this world. To
I mean, they could have added a lot of things. They could have had people
honestly.
fighting in the jungle. They could have had people fighting the new dragon right there in the dragon's den.
Exactly.
They could have had new effects.
That was the Rift Herald, by the way. It wasn't.
Yeah,
whatever. Rift Herald. They could have had people fighting in the Rift Herald. They could have had an epic like ending right there with the Nexus exploding.
LCS moment or something. They could have done so much.
They could have done a lot, and to me, this just seems like an overview of the map. It doesn't strike me as like hey, come back and play.
Filling their quota of adding something. Yeah,
I wouldn't say that I'm vitriolous or whatever you want to call it. I'm not angry that they didn't do it, but
I mean, all League players have
all League players are just angry though.
Vitriol in their heart with this stuff.
So. Yeah.
But
is vitriolous even a word? I'm confused.
Vitriol is for sure.
Vitriol is vitriol. What is the plural of vitriol?
I think it's vitriol. I don't know.
Vitriol.
Not a dang thesaurus.
English majors in the chat. Come on.
I'm not a dinosaur.
I'm really proud of myself for not cussing. I'm trying my best to just encourage.
Fuck.
That.
Oh, god damn it.
Yo, really?
Bro, you just passed.
Oh my man, dude.
Literally, we're at 41%.
So I'm sure that even though Enigma is cussing, he's probably not the only one cussing right now, because Nvidia and Google have also joined the fight against Xbox's acquisition over Activision. Now, to put a little asterisk beside it, joining the fight is very loose and light. They're not opposing it to the extent of like Sony and kind of fighting for it, but against it wholeheartedly or putting money behind it or whatever else. But they did come out and say like, hey, like just as an FYI, this would be we would see this as being unfair in the cloud and subscription mobile market. and this would kind of hurt us. But Nvidia did come out and say that they're not necessarily openly opposed to it, but they did stress the importance in that it isn't that Microsoft keep games kind of open and free to all platforms, right?
The thing that cracks me up with this is that Google came in there and we're like, hey, we're opposed to this because of the cloud subscription and the internet mobile gaming markets, even though their cloud subscription and cloud gaming market is dead.
Yeah.
Well, their cloud subscription is there, but their gaming side is not. So I mean that's the whole thing. I think it's also funny that Google came into doing this whenever they're like, oh hey, by the way, yeah, we're not going to allow Epic stuff on our platform. So all of this joins basically alongside of where you've got now the FTC that sued to block out Microsoft Activision. By the way, there's if you keep up with Bloomberg Report or any of the other kind of things that talk about these kind of types of things, that right now is, as far as it's looked at, is probably going to end up falling flat. With the FTC's
we knew we talked about that. We talked about that on the last podcast, that it was like there's no way that's going to go through.
Yeah,
like it's literally just a cop out.
Also to the some of the markets it passed in the Saudi Arabian and the I want to say the Japanese market, but I don't want to. I know for a fact the Saudi Arabian market it passed, and there were two markets that they were concerned about it passing. One of which was the Saudi Arabian market. I don't see this necessarily being. I mean, obviously the UK still has a kind of a threshold, but a lot of their stuff is not even around gaming. It has to do around like the Windows platform or whatever else. And Microsoft is combating this not only by saying like, hey, like we're offering, Call of Duty and all these things on PlayStation for 10 years. We're also offering it to Nintendo consoles. We're not locking anything behind walls. And on top of that, we're also going pro union, right? So, and a lot of people are also kind of coining this as being like, hey, like you're doing this because of the Activision, thing. That is actually something that they had been talking about prior to any kind of pushback around Activision's acquisition. This was something that they came in and said, hey, like we are pro union, like we've been pro union, and they want to unionize the gaming space, which I think is great. I think that's a huge positive. So, your guys' thoughts on all this? Where do you guys land?
I mean, I think it's a positive too. I'm pretty much in full agreement with you there.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good. I don't
know.
What do you think, Enigma?
Go ahead.
Nah, I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Yeah,
I was about to say I don't know. I have my views on unionization. It can be a good thing and an extremely bad thing depending on the union.
I agree with that.
In the gaming compartment, in the online environment, I don't know how it really.
I think that unions in the game. I think being in the gaming space and this world, right? Like, people get. Oh man, I almost messed up. People get messed over quite a bit. People get
stepped on quite a bit. Like, I will completely agree with that. Because like there's a lot of situations where we've seen in the past where it's like. Junior members getting completely shafted when it comes to like hours or pay rates and everything like that. And speaking of Blizzard, like Blizzard is one of the worst ones.
The bonuses and like all that stuff.
Blizzard is one of the worst ones when it comes to like junior members and like junior staff, junior developers, everything like that. Like they're getting paid on average. I think at one point I read like 60% or 50% less than any other company. And the only reason why they're being paid that is because it's Blizzard, and Blizzard's like, well, you should feel,
you should feel privileged
honored.
to work here. Man.
You should feel privileged to work here because like having Blizzard on your resume, if you ever go someplace else, having Blizzard on your resume is going to be able to get you at least 60 to 70% of a raise right there and then. But
because they're already not paying them anything.
it's just one of those things where like. My experience, and granted it's an entirely different experience, like my experience with most unions was in construction work, was in cabinetry, was in manual labor, and that was not an enjoyable experience at all. unions in those instances are extremely disruptive. They're very, very taxing when it comes to dealing with a lot of the times. And in some instances, it's almost a detriment, and you just don't want to work with people that are unionized, in my experience. So I'm really hoping that that's not going to be the case when it comes to like unionizing with the gaming industry, because like we already have an issue of like games taking years and years and years. And we're going to talk about one right now that's been delayed for the last 6 years, right? Unionization, I'm almost wondering how much more delays are going to happen just because unionization happens and the union can't get what they demand. So they're just going to stop working on things. You know?
Well, also,
Right.
too,
It's just,
a lot of times unions, the negative side that people don't look at too is that unions also cause quite a bit of issues when it comes to like health benefits and things like that. Your cost goes up for health benefits, you know, because companies are no longer incentivized to to give you better benefits. A lot of people are like, oh, the union will fight for better benefits. That's not always the case. Like the union will try to fight for better benefits.
The union fights for equal benefits,
Right.
not necessarily better.
Speaking of fighting, like right, like the one thing with where it comes into play inside of like the manual labor is like if the union goes on strike, you go on strike regardless of what you feel. If you're a part of that union, you're no longer working.
You
like
can scab. It's just
no, you cannot. At least when it came to manual labor, if the manual labor went on strike, if the union went on strike in manual labor, you were required as a union member to be at that strike.
Well, because of, like in the CWA, which is the Cellular Communication Workers of America, that was the union that AT&T was a part of, and I was a part of. If the union striked, you were to strike with them. Now you could scab, but if you scabbed, you forfeited your rights, your union rights over for anybody to do anything. And basically, a lot of times what would happen is you would scab, the union would come back, the terms they would be fought or whatever else for whatever reasons, and then usually you were fired. Usually you were let go.
That's just my biggest worry is like everything that I've ever, anytime that I've ever had any experience with any unionization, it's not been an enjoyable experience. So I don't know. People look at unionization and they're like, yeah, unionization, everything's gonna be better. It's not.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but I don't know. Definitely is per person for the
granted, I like the fact that it gives people the ability to fight back against some of these like larger corporations. For instance, Blizzard. It's going to give them the ability to kind of fight back against their bullcrap tactics and their sexualization and everything like that.
That's the other side of what this is for Microsoft, right? This is a ploy and basically a play for them to say, hey, look, like right now as it stands, the workers rights, people in general, like they're being sexually assaulted, abused. This is a complete dumpster fire, right? We're gonna bring them under here and we're gonna fix it, right? And so that's a big ploy as well. I still don't see this faltering. Like I can't imagine that Microsoft is willing to put $69 billion on the line in a play where that money can just kind of still go, which heads up, it was announced that if this still falters, they still pay Activision. Like they will still pay Activision $69 billion if this falters.
That's wild.
So that's how confident they are that this will still go
number.
through. Oh my God. Anyway,
sorry, it's got to be.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Wrong episode, Scruffy.
So. Moving on to some other kind of unsettling things, controversies, issues, changes, big companies doing things people don't like. D&D, and Enigma, I'm going to let you kind of handle this one, but D&D licensing, because I didn't even hear about this, the Wizards of the Coast stuff. Like, what is going on? Like, this is all like imploded over the last like couple of days.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, it's been going on for a lot longer than the last couple of days, but this is just it kind of finally came to a head. In the last like weekish, I think. But yeah, essentially, so Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast had an open, what's called an OGL, an open gaming license for Dungeons and Dragons, right? Which then in turn, it basically gave the ability for content creators, companies, everybody to make content in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, or that had anything to do with the Dungeons and Dragons. Like I think that it's Star Wars: The Old Republic somehow uses the OGL with their
Weird.
their stats and their skill trees in some way, shape, or form. I'm not really sure. I just remember something coming up about that. So they technically are on this open game license for Dungeons and Dragons, right? A lot of people, like you're talking like Critical Role, which is one of the most popular Dungeons and Dragons streams on in the world right now, right? They're making multi-millions of dollars a month just playing Dungeons and Dragons and creating Dungeons and Dragons content. You got stuff like Cold Press, which is a big one that comes out with homebrew and also not homebrew classes and character sheets, what's it called, races, everything like that. They come up with like custom stuff for Dungeons and Dragons that you can then go to their place, purchase it, and say, okay, yes, this is mine now. I can use this in my Dungeons and Dragons, my next game, essentially, right? So the open game license is vast and has a lot of people connected to it. What Dungeons and Dragons did recently, they're trying to move into what they're calling 1D&D, which is another. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's supposed to be another version of D&D. Right now we're on 5e, which is 5th edition, right? They want to move to this 1D&D that is it's supposed to be like one rule set that you can use across everything, essentially. Yeah, it's essentially pretty much. So the biggest thing with this though is that like with this they want to go down a route of it being like exactly like you said, like it's ours, we rule it all. This is our licensing. If you are using it and you are making money off of it, we're going to be getting our just dues off of that, right? So they're going to be, if you're making money off of anything to do with Dungeons and Dragons, they're going to be taking royalties, or in some instances, they just might take your creation and say, screw you, this is ours now.
Yeah.
So is this saying something like Dungeons of like we talked about Dungeons of Sundaria, right? Is this saying that they would need to pay $750,000 per year?
If they're using a portion of that open game license, then yes. Once they reach 100,000, like I think it's a very specific amount. I think it is $100,000 a year. Once you reach that crescendo, once you ascend over that.
Well, there is a states that products using OGL earning over 750,000 per year must pay.
That's what it was. That's what it is. That's 25% royalty. That's still insane. 25% royalty is freaking crazy.
And on top of that, again, you owe them 25% royalties, but there's also a very good chance that they can be like, huh, that's a really good idea. That's ours now.
Huh. That's kind of
so nuts. It's been a really big thing with the Dungeons and Dragons community. Obviously, I've been keeping tabs on it because I every Tuesday I play Dungeons and Dragons with a group of my friends. We've been talking about it off and on, being like, well, what the heck's going to happen? Like, if that happens, we don't really want to support that. Where are we going to go? Are we going to go back to Pathfinder?
You better start paying your royalties, sir.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like, it doesn't affect us, but we don't want to put our money into it. We don't want to buy the player's handbooks for that, right? We don't want to buy the next whatever bullshit, Dungeons and Dragons comes out with their next stolen content from one of their content creators, right? So we're sitting there thinking to ourselves, well, do we go to Pathfinder? What do we do? Do we go to some other
Shadowrun
rule set?
Wait, no, Shadowrun. Is it Shadowrun Wizards of the Coast?
I'm not entirely sure. Shadows or Wizards of the Coast owns a lot of content, right? Like they own a lot of IPs, which is the sad part. So that's the biggest issue that we're looking at right now. They came out today. I'm not entirely sure I added that. But there was a leak today from an insider apparently that basically stated that, and I think I added it in here. Let me check really quickly just to make sure. Yeah, it's the Dungeons and Dragons players cancel D&D Beyond subscriptions en masse after insider leak. So after the insider leak basically said that, yeah, they're going to reverse this open game license thing for now, but they're still looking into it. Like they still want to very heavily incentivize it because it came out the higher ups are basically looking at this situation and saying, well, we need to monetize, we need to make money off of D&D more, right? But essentially what happened is after this leak, a bunch of people went on and started canceling their D&D Beyond subscriptions and just completely crashed the server for for that specific
That's what
website.
happens. Piss off gamers.
And
They'll fight
yeah,
back.
and that's the biggest thing. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to reverse this decision. Nobody, literally nobody in the D&D community is happy about this. So I don't see how they can push it
Even
forward.
it's affecting smaller projects and
Yeah.
developers too, you know, of anything related
Like,
to D&D.
nobody is happy about this. Like, literally nobody. This is the meme. Dungeons and Dragons or Wizards of the Coast are doing that meme where it's like, hey, let's revoke the open game license and make you guys pay for, you know, for our shit. You know, that's them, and then it's just silence from everybody. That meme.
Mhm.
That's exactly what's going on. Is like Dungeons and Dragons are just being greedy, and I don't see how this can be a good thing for them. If anything, I see them losing a crap ton of money off of this. So
Yeah.
I'm
Well-
interested to see what happens. I'll update you guys. We'll update you guys on the next podcast and see if the story has moved forward at all or not. So
Sounds good.
In terms of cancellation, they're not alone, right? There is another
never-
company out there that has gotten their fingers in the cancellation pie, and that is good old Ubisoft. So Ubisoft's canceled 3 unannounced games, and they also delayed Skull and Bones for the 6th time.
I just want to play pirates, man.
Hey, come play
Bro,
Sea of
at-
Thieves
at
with
this-
me. Come play Sea of
at this
Thieves.
point, at this point, I just don't see Skull and Bones ever releasing. Like,
Okay with that.
and if it does, I just don't see people playing it. Like, I just don't think people are.
Yeah.
They're gonna look at it and just be like, okay, whatever.
They can't. They've put way too much time and money into that game.
Well, it's not just that they can't. As far as if I remember correctly, Skull and Bones is being developed in I want to say like Rio de Janeiro or someplace like that. And the thing about it is like the area that they're in, the government has funded that. Like the government has put money into the development of Skull and Bones. It's I can't remember what it was, but it's like they've actually put a substantial amount of money into it. And essentially what they're doing is they're trying to make it so that, you know, that specific game development brings in jobs, right? So they invested in it. But like I don't see how they can cancel it completely, but like
no, they can't.
it's getting to a point where whatever government that was, you need to get your money back. Like,
I mean, they depreciated their research and development in these 3 games by 500 million euros. I think this is what this is. And then on top of that, they also reduced their net booking target for the quarter ending in December to 725 million euros from the previous 830 million euros. Like this is not boding well.
so
when you're looking at
right. Sorry. So right here, according to a deal was made with the Singaporean government to help keep Ubisoft's ambitious pirate game Skull and Bones aloft. The game will initially be planned as an expansion to Assassin. It wasn't initially planned as an expansion in 2013, but since the design went into hell, essentially, but yeah, the Singapore government essentially has a crap ton of money put into it. Let's see if I can figure out where it was. Reports that the game apparently cost Ubisoft towards 100 in the upwards of 120 million, but the deal with the government of Singapore, where the main development studio making the game is based, is providing generous subsidies. And the condition of these subsidies includes hiring people at the Ubisoft Singapore studios and the studio releasing the original IP over the next few years. And that was back in 2021.
Is this the most delayed game that we've had?
no.
No, I don't think so.
Because like I'm just curious because I was looking up Cyberpunk
6 times.
three major
Cyberpunk was 4
yeah, it
or
had
5. I
3
think.
major and then like 4, maybe 2 small. But dude, it's getting up there.
Nothing's
I mean,
gonna
it
beat
might
Duke.
be.
Nothing's gonna beat Duke Nukem Forever.
Very true.
Yeah, that or Half-Life 3. That one's out
Dead
there too.
Island 2, that game was delayed for years because it was canceled.
I'm trying to find because I want to see what Ubisoft's income or profits were over the or just like what their sales numbers were the last year. I'm having I'm having a problem.
We had no idea what those unannounced games even were, right?
Nope.
Like there was nothing on them.
There's there's some people that have some speculation, like the Assassin's Creed Mirage, which it's not going to get canceled, but there was a game that was attached to Assassin's Creed Mirage. That was one of them. It was another there was another
Talking about the one set in Japan.
Premium announced a premium game that was unannounced as well. There was supposedly like some kind of MMO action RPG that was also on the books that got canceled, which I'm okay with. And some Rainbow Six thing. I don't think it was the next game, but some I'm sure it was some kind of mobile port, some kind of bull crap that they would have done with that. So
no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know. This is no, I'm not saying that this is necessarily the end all be all, right? I mean, it is obviously Skull and Bones is that. I think Skull and Bones is going to flop. Unfortunately, I mean, Bill, you want to play Pirates, man? Seriously, come play Sea of Thieves. I've been playing that, and it's been a blast.
I'm glad you're having fun with it.
So,
I liked your comments in about how they're stating the underperformance of Mario plus Rabbids, as we just saw it like go through all of. I don't know. Did it actually win an award too?
It won the strategy.
Yeah, it won the strategy game.
Yeah. So that's so.
Well, Ubisoft. Look, Ubisoft is not. They're not shy, or this is not the first time that they over index on what they want these games to perform as, right? Like EA or not EA. EA and Ubisoft, both. Like they go out there and they expect these insanely large numbers, right? Like Square Enix did it with Tomb Raider, right? Tomb Raider, they expected Tomb Raider to sell these just insanely amount of units, and it was a phenomenal game, but it never was going to hit the targets that they expected to sell, and so they were just like, this is not gonna. No, we're not doing another one, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know. It's this is the downfall of these massive companies like this that do this, and Ubisoft's. I don't know what Ubisoft has got on the horizon. And actually, I would guarantee you that one of the games that they canceled. Remember that BR that they were going to do? That was like the BR that was supposed to be in the Ghost Recon universe. I don't know if you guys remember it. Anyway, it was a 100-person BR that they were supposed to be doing in the Ghost Recon Tom Clancy universe. I guarantee that's probably one of the ones it got canned. So
I don't know.
Yep. So that is the Ubisoft stuff. Other than that, guys, we are kind of rounding it down. Make sure that you guys get your questions in if you have any. Is there a lot of these other ones that we have in here are kind of quick hits. Unless there's anything specific you guys want to kind of talk about. Payday 3 got its own Steam page.
Yeah, we got an announcement for Payday 3, logo reveal. Nothing really huge, but it's exciting for those people that I enjoy Payday. I love Payday. I love Payday 2.
It is a good time.
It is awesome.
Underrated, in my opinion.
Definitely underrated. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Payday 3. I know that I'm hoping that they do more with the VR, because I know that Payday 2 had VR integration with it, but it wasn't very
it was rough.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. So I'm hoping that they do some more with it. But yeah, they're still bringing out content from Payday 2. Like they literally brought out an expansion and a new I wouldn't say expansion. It was like it's what they call an expansion. It's basically DLC, like a microtransaction DLC that brings out.
It's like a good AI system, like on par with like Ready or Not did. Like, oh, that game could be good.
I don't know about that. Ready or Not. I mean, pretty shit.
From what I've seen of that game, it looks like pretty nuts. What you can do.
No, their AI on Ready or Not is pretty rough. Like they'll just walk into doors and just sit there and walk into the door for 20 minutes until you tell them what to do. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
They're cracked out meth heads. What do you expect? What do you want them to do? Did you add trigonometry? So some of the other things, guys, is that PlayStation Plus, their game catalog for 2023 for January is actually pretty extensive. They just brought in Back for Blood, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Life is Strange Before the Storm, Jet the Far Shore, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Life is Strange. There's two of it. Life is Strange, Life is Strange Before the Storm. I guess it's a DLC. I don't know.
Yeah.
See, Sayonara. Is that Sayonara? No, it's
Sayonara?
no, it's Sayonara. Wild Hearts. Just Cause 4 Reloaded. Just Cause 4. Omno and Erica all are coming in 2023. So.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that's super stacked, but I don't know what their other as far as like quantity wise. I guess that's
a lot of games.
Really, the most impressive one on that list is Back 4 Blood. I don't think the Back 4 Blood would be over there.
And Devil May Cry, but Devil May Cry is a little bit old.
Yeah, but Devil May Cry is old, and it's a Sony thing, anyways.
Special edition.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z is really good.
Yeah, and now the game's like finished its lifespan.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying it's quite a bit of games. I mean, Microsoft's only giving you like 4, so this is as far as.
Well, you also have to think this is PlayStation's online or subscription model in its infancy. Whenever Xbox Game Pass first came out, it was throwing them out there left and right too. It'll slow down eventually once they figure out what niche they want to hit, and they still need to figure out if they're going to have day one exclusive or day one releases on it or not, because it seems like they might be walking back that original thought.
That would be very bad.
That would be a terrible idea. Yeah.
Not be smart.
No, I mean like walking back them not doing it, because as of right now, they're not doing day one launches on PlayStation Plus Pass.
So
they might be walking back the idea of not doing it and start doing it.
That would be a smart idea. That would be a very smart idea. That they really should be doing that regardless.
They should, and I think they realize that.
Somebody else that is also walking back is Borderlands, the movie. They are going back for reshoots because the Deadpool director took over. Is this the original for Deadpool 1? Right?
I don't know.
It's Ellie. Which one was it? It was Tim Miller.
It's Deadpool. So Deadpool 1. That is very smart. I think that is Tim Miller. First off, if you don't know Tim Miller, he's a phenomenal director, phenomenal actor. His humor is right on point. It fits Deadpool. It also fits Borderlands. He is he is the guy that was at the bar, and that was Deadpool's friends. Was Wade's friend behind.
Oh yeah,
that's Tim Miller. And they had Eli Roth, which was Cabin Fever and Hostel. It does not make sense to me, really. Like, if you really, the guy is like big into like the kind of killer slasher gore genre. It doesn't match. So this is smart. This is a good setup.
I was more excited about the cast than the director. With Jack Black and who are the other ones in there?
Yeah, Kate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart, Arena Greenblatt. And Gina Gershon, and then obviously Jack Black.
I like it
as well. So cool.
I know. I'm with you. I think that's the best move that they could have made with that, because again, like you said, it 100% fits his style of directing fits with the Borderlands franchise. I don't know why they went with the other one.
I'm hoping that Borderlands does better than Mario, because I have a feeling Mario is going to flop.
Mario is going to be a crap shoot.
I think it looks good.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm skeptical, but I'm willing.
Mamma mia, bowl.
I mean, I hate Chris Rock voicing, or not Chris Rock. Fuck, Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't have mind
Mario.
Chris Rock voicing Mario. That'd be hilarious.
He probably would have put a little bit more effort into it.
That'd be great.
But I don't think the movie looks bad.
Yeah. But and then what would have been really funny is you could have a scene where you've got Mario saying something about Luigi's wife, and then Luigi can be voiced by Will Smith, and he gets up and smacks the crap out of Mario. Anyway,
get my wife's name out your mouth.
So other quick hits is Sons of the Forest will have an AI companion for solo players. Who cares? That game is I'm just kidding. It's got a storyline. You don't want to play it. No, actually, Sons of the Forest. My son is actually.
Sons of the Forest looks really good, dude. Like I was watching some stuff about it. I know. I'm just saying. I wanted to deep dive into this actually a little bit.
Well, you put it on quick hits. That's your fault.
That's true.
Well, yeah, it looks really good. Like honestly, from some of the stuff that I've been reading about it, like they're adding an AI companion. I can't remember what his name is, but he's like a person that was on the crash with you, but he's kind of a little
lost his hearing.
He's head. Yeah.
Too.
So you basically the way that they have you giving him like commands is actually really, really cool. I think in a way of like You tell him what you want him to do. So it's like a piece of paper that you have to write down what you want him to do, right? So you have like go collect, and then you can it has like a little list where you can tell him to collect like rocks, trees, sticks, and then it has a little section at the end that's like, and bring back to base me, etc., etc., etc. It's a really kind of a cool and wow, I can't talk today. It's not something that I don't think we've seen in games
in survival
too
games.
terribly much.
Is it going to get banned on Twitch because it's going to become sentient and racist?
Maybe, yes, maybe. I mean, it's
go get me wood. Get it yourself, you freaking.
There's always that possibility. But yeah, they say that you're gonna have this one AI companion, but there's also going to be more that you can find inside of the forest as well. So I think that's kind of cool. It brings kind of a, because if you want to play the game solo, like the current game is not very solo friendly. So
they sort of make it not feel as lonely too.
Yeah. And it kind of sideloads the boring collection of like materials so that you can kind of do other stuff like build the base and everything like that. So
play the story.
Speaking of AI in a different sense, actually, I have a quick hit of my own. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was, I think, posted maybe sometime during this past week. You heard about Nvidia getting a new
the AI stuff with the eyes?
Eye tracking, or not eye tracking, but Nvidia programming an AI to where, so I'm looking, obviously not on my camera right now. Their AI will make it so my eyes are looking at the camera, that's
freaking creepy, dude.
It's kind of creepy, but it's kind of cool, if people want to utilize it who have, troubles with eye contact and stuff like that, it makes it a lot easier.
Or if you have a bright ass light behind your camera that you don't want to be staring into the whole time.
A lot like me, yeah. That's why my lights are dim today, because that thing gives me a freaking headache. So no, it is. But I just, get your comments on body.
That's a Zoomer answer for you if I've ever heard one. Nah.
It's pretty cool though. The advances that Nvidia is doing with their AI stuff. I just wish I could utilize it better. There's having a whole nother thing.
Soon you're not even gonna have to. You're not even gonna have to be in front of your camera. It's gonna be an AI version of you in front of your camera.
I mean, that's gonna be my next rendition. Yeah, you guys are just gonna do the podcast with an AI chatbot.
I mean, that's what you are now anyway. What does it matter?
I mean, I haven't started talking about the Holocaust. I can if you want me to.
Yes, you did. You literally kicked off the podcast with that.
We do. Man, he talks to chatbots during the night because he gets lonely. That's why.
Yeah, it's true.
He doesn't want to be alone.
While we're throwing
you guys haven't talked to me all day. I'm just gonna have to go to chat.
You haven't talked to us, sir.
While we're throwing out quick hits and stuff, did you all see Square Enix's start of the year response and saying that they're still investing into NFT gaming despite all the backlash that
they're just gonna turn Marvel Avengers into that. That's just gonna be the NFT game. I'm just waiting for it.
Again, wouldn't surprise me.
I'm just waiting for it. I did see that. Well, along with all of the other Logan Paul, Crypto Zoo, we have to do a cast that's non-gaming but like that kind of stuff related, because I have so much input on that.
I would love to.
Around the Crypto Zoo and the Logan Paul crap, but please, Logan Paul, don't go sue us. Anyway, also real quick, well, not only real quick, but congratulations to Bill. Everybody give Bill a big clap. All right. Elden Ring has surpassed The Last of Us Part 2, and I know it is solely off the back of your content, sir. So for Game of the Year award. So thank God we don't have to hear about Last of Us Part 2 anymore.
Yeah. Elden Ring's a really good game. You guys should play it sometime.
I have another quick hit too. I'm sorry.
I got one.
Did you guys hear about the backlash and hate that Cyberpunk 2077 is getting on Steam for winning? I think it was the Labor of Love award.
Yeah.
And how people were angry because they don't think it was deserving.
I get it.
I get it.
I think
I understand it. The thing about it is like I'm a proponent of 2077. Right? I love that game.
They got Labor of Love, and
I love that game. But the thing is like that game, other than like minor bug patches, they have done dick all other than one update.
Yeah,
it's the same situation with Valheim, right? Valheim came out with a thing that was like, hey guys, we're able to be voted for Labor of Love this year. Make sure that you go and vote for Valheim for Labor of Love. And I'm like, what the fuck have you done all year? You haven't done anything.
The Dead Cells.
Meanwhile, No Man's Sky is still putting out banger after banger free update.
I think No Man's Sky
that's
won
what
as
you gotta
well.
remember. Yeah,
they had multiple winners for that category, or for those categories, by the way, because No Man's Sky
will win that award for the entirety of it.
Yeah. When it comes to the Labor of Love award, I think it needs to go to people that are constantly updating, constantly innovating, constantly changing. Right?
I mean,
like that is what the Labor of Love is about. It's labor of love.
I lost my shit when I saw that Dead Cells won it, because Dead Cells they deserve it. The game. Yeah. So
why do they deserve it? Have they been bringing out a lot of stuff or no?
They constantly keep updating that game and bringing out new content, new stuff for it.
I don't keep.
Dead Cells is basically the new Binding of Isaac as far as like roguelike that's putting out like constant updates.
Yeah,
sure.
And they're doing a Castlevania collaboration.
And a Terraria. I told you about that.
Get your Terraria bull crap out of here.
So last two things real quick. One, Xbox and Bethesda have an event coming later. We will cover that obviously on the show after it happens, to make sure we give you all the updated news there. And I just want to do, this is going to take literally 2 minutes. I just want to say something completely and utterly, Enigma has cussed all show, so I'm using one of my curse words. I'm using one of my curse tokens. Man, fuck OBS and their stupid updates and their bullcrap that they do, and why companies do this crap. But the update to 28.1 and then 29 royally screwed over any people that do like X264 encoding. It's not just me that has an issue with it. It has been multiple people that have out there that have had problems with this. And come to find out, it has been a known issue, and they knew about it, and they still pushed it out. So I don't know if it is a conspiracy to get Nvidia, if Nvidia laced pockets or whatever else. But their NVENC encoding or NVENC H264 encoding is now like the way to go, apparently, with this kind of stuff. So, and X264 is just having nothing but problems. So
NVENC's been the way to go for like about a year now.
If you don't have a processor that can pump it, like I have we can go into depth after this the show, because it's not pertinent to people that want to see it here, but I have a processor that can do no problem, and had no problem handling my streams prior to this update. The update came, and then all of a sudden just nothing but issues, to the point I've actually reset my PC twice now because I thought it was something wrong with my CPU, and it was not. It was in fact the X264.
I can attest. I was his guinea pig during this whole process.
Yeah. Well, I guess you get what you pay for.
So
I think it's just sin. He deletes stuff.
Yeah.
And then sits there and bitches and complains about it. Like, why is my Xbox app not working? And I'm like, well, did you delete it?
Go look up all the other people that are having the issues. Anyway, we do have a question in chat, and then we got to go because we're 3 minutes over. This is coming from Jen Porchapo in our chat. And by the way, all you guys that are listening, girls that are listening to us on whether it be Spotify, whether it be your favorite podcast app, whether you're listening to us on our YouTube VODs or over at Twitch, you can come and join us live and do this. But Jen Porchapo in chat said, game you are all looking most forward to, or game coming up that you think is overhyped. So let's answer one of those, and you get to choose one, either one that's overhyped or the game that you're most looking forward to.
It's kind of applicable for both, being
Atomic Heart.
Atomic Heart. I mean, I don't know if it's overhyped in a sense. I think it's
it is overhyped.
That game
everybody
is
just
overhyped.
Everybody just wants to
it's overambitious.
pork the robots.
Like what?
What?
People just have you not been on TikTok recently?
No.
That's
all TikTok is simping over the robot twins.
That is that's Atomic, another body part, not the heart.
Okay.
I'll send you a TikTok.
That's Atomic Parts, not Atomic Hearts.
Robot porking. I think it's overambitious, like we've stated before, but I still am looking forward to it, and I'm just a little bit more worried and skeptical now. But yeah,
The weirdest thing about Atomic Heart is, weren't they outed that the like the original gameplay trailer that they showed wasn't actually a gameplay trailer, it was like a handcrafted like cinematic?
it wouldn't surprise me, but I hadn't heard of that.
That's 9/10 of games that release these days.
A lot of games to stay, yeah. So,
I think for me, I'd say probably Nightingale, but again, it's like a double-edged sword with that one too. Is like I'm very excited for it, but on the other hand, the closer we get to quote unquote a release, the more I'm like seeing people that are overhyping it. Like there's a content creator that I watch pretty regularly for 7 Days to Die content that released like this giant like hour-and-a-half long synopsis of why he's most excited for it, and I'm just like, why would you do that? Like, we know literally half of all of nothing about what the hell a Nightingale is, and you're releasing an hour-and-a-half long video. Like, come on, bro.
Bill, what you got?
I think Starfield is extremely overhyped. I think that game is going to be the next 76.
yeah, that's a big thing for Bethesda games in general.
You know what, Bill? You know what, Bill? I'm getting tired of your shit. No,
I from the get-go, I've been very skeptical, and then Tom Howard just released that. Yeah,
Todd,
we feel like
it's Todd Howard. Okay, get it right.
Okay. Well, the idiot said that yeah, for Bethesda games, we feel 30 FPS is more than enough, and we're not really looking to push the envelope.
That's because that's all that their freaking game system can pump out.
That engine is just so
Worst engine.
We're okay with games coming out in 2023 at 30 FPS.
They just need to get rid of Creation. They just need to stop developing on Creation Engine. Like
they need to untie it, dude. Like from FPS and
they just need to tie it down and throw it in the ocean is what they need to do.
They need a new engine, 100%.
They need to give it some concrete boots and toss it in the ocean.
I think
that's my overhyped of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am torn between what I want to say. So because there's two that are pretty up there. I am excited about Diablo 4.
You only pick one.
I know. Well,
you told us all to pick one.
You told us all one. You can't break your own rule, bro.
Overhyped game, because I've been seeing so much of this game lately, and they just came out with two videos that were complete dog crap. Is The Last Day. That game is
100.
going to be a dumpster fire, and I am so excited to watch it burn.
My question is, do people actually think that that's going to release?
Yes, they do. It is the most wishlist game on Steam.
That's crazy, dude.
So my thing with that game is I still believe that was...
You are... Go ahead, sorry.
What?
I was about to roast you.
Is still just a ploy to advertise their DBD style game being what Prop Night.
Prop Hunt?
Prop Night or whatever, yeah.
Game where it was like DBD and Prop Hunt. Yeah, I think it was still all a ploy just to advertise that game.
I don't know, man. Well, now they're using, I don't know if you guys saw the video that showed like, hey, this is a day in the life of what it's like to work at our studio. And it was a ploy. It was an entire ad for their app called Connection.
That's all these.
And it was an ad for, it showed like two things about the last day. And then it was nothing but like, you could use Connect to talk to people all around the world. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, and then come to find out the studio that's making it developed that app. So,
yep. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Last Day. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings episode number 72 into the books, boys and girls. First episode.
And the first show of the season.
Yeah, first show of the season. Hope you enjoyed our trailer. You know, we didn't have butterflies and stuff like that, but we did have Bill's luscious beard and Scruffy's attempt to make a dirt stash and puppies in the background. I don't know. It's whatever weird. So
never mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Anyway,
wrong.
You guys have an amazing rest of your week. Make sure that if you have not hit that like button, hit the like button, subscribe, let your friends, your neighbors, your vet, your dog, your cat, your neighbor's cat, your cat's neighbor, and
Are you
your
sure
dog's,
you don't like the game Stray?
dog's friend. No, I can't say.
Or is
I
this
can't.
just your inner furry coming out again?
Yeah, this is just.
This is
I've been
inappropriate
playing
coming out,
some
100%.
neon white again. By the way, great game. Anyway, thanks for joining everybody. I hope you guys have an amazing evening, and we will be back in 2 weeks to discuss, as always, the gaming news. And we will be back. See ya. Out of here. Later.
Arrivederci.
Installation.